think about a bluegrass banjo, they have a resonator on it. So there's like
Right.
there's a whole other piece of wood that's almost like a half of a bowl shape.
Yeah.
And so that projects the sound out and changes the timbre of the instrument, the tone of it.
Right.
And these are just open, so they don't have
That's wild.
Yeah. So they're mainly for like old time music.
Yeah.
You know, so I said, I do almost all clawhammer stuff, which is the kind of the old style way of playing banjo. The bluegrass banjo where they put the picks and things on their fingers.
Yeah.
Bluegrass style is more of a, it's not really modern anymore, but it's more of a modern way of playing.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So, yeah, I love that. It's a very earthy sound. It's very organic sound. I don't know how else to put it, but as soon as I heard the sound of clawhammer banjo, I'm like, what is that? That is cool. So I'm all about it.
Can you play like a couple of like things?
Oh man, yeah. That's out of tune. I don't know how well this will come across, but you know, banjos are always out of tune, so you can't.
Are they?
Something like that.
That was awesome. Yay. That was really awesome.
Thank you.
Now, would you say, comparing, you know, guitar to banjo, and I know that there's a whole bunch of different types of guitars, but the guitar as a whole compared to the banjo, what would you say is easier to pick up to play?
Gosh, you know, it depends on what you want to do. I would say the banjo would be easier to pick up to play because, you know, like this tuning that I'm in is called double C tuning. It's my absolute favorite. I have a banjo book that it's on Amazon. It's called Clawhammer Banjo Duets. And so I talk about the double C tuning and how much I love it in that book. But if you think about this tuning, to play a C chord, I only have to hold down one string. Sorry for that being out of tune, but anyway, so you know, so I could play C, I could play F, 2 fingers, I could play G, 2 fingers, you know, so I could play a song like, and I never have to play a bar chord.
That's awesome.
That's pretty easy. And, you know, like just single note melodies or even like a simple song like, you know, that's one thing that is an advantage that the guitar doesn't really have because everybody out there that's listening to this, I'm sure you've played guitar and you had somebody teach you and you're learning chords, you're learning scales, and you're learning rhythms and things like that. But it doesn't really sound like the albums that you're listening to because, you know, you could play a single note melody, but where are the chords? You could play the chords, but where's the melody? You know what I mean? So it's like there's always something missing. And the only way that you can get that full kind of bodied sound where you're like, this sounds like music, you got to be pushing into at least the intermediate stage to be hitting that, which could take, you know, for some people it takes years, if ever, right? And it depends on how many hours a day that you play. I mean, when I was practicing guitar, I was playing 6 hours a day. So, you know, I got my 10,000 hours in, as they say, pretty quickly, and have doubled, tripled that probably at least. So you don't have that level of, because I could play just like I played. You heard the rhythm, you heard the melody all at the same time. So I can sit here and play you a song, and you go, "Hey, that's Angelina Baker. Hey, that's Mississippi Sawyer," or you know, whatever the tune is. And man, that's really great, because you get feedback really quickly into it, because it's like, you know, it's like this is sounding like music,
right?
But on a guitar, unless you're playing classical guitar, it's very difficult to get into that level where you don't have to have other people to play with.
Yeah. That I had my big issue was the bar chords. Like I could not. I think just anything that required me to do more than to hold more than 2 strings, I'm just like, I can't. So maybe I'll look into banjo. That sounds exciting.
There's a book. I'm almost done with it. It's a very small book, but it's called The Dip, and basically what it's about is anything that's worth doing. Doesn't matter what it is. You could be your job, running a business, but to me, like, I relate this to music because that's my thing. So the dip is that place that's in whatever you're doing. It seems like this long stretch of time where you don't feel like anything's happening, right? That is the place where everybody quits, and that because they don't see what's coming, right? And the people that really persevere, they push through the dip until they get to the other end, and then it starts to dramatically climb up. And so, to me, I call that the price of admission. You know, so the dip for guitar is the F chord, right? And so people get to the F chord, and man, how many people have I seen just give up or just avoid the F chord altogether? And me as a teacher, I keep giving them things with the F chord.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's like you got to get that chord, because as soon as you get it, the whole world basically opens up to you.
Right.
You know, but until then, you have to build up the calluses, you have to build up the strength, you have to build up the flexibility, and that's the dip. So it's there. It's like the bar exam. You're not going to become a lawyer unless you do that bar exam. You could put it off forever. But you're never going to get to the other side unless you get through that. And I think that's, I don't know, for all the listeners that are out there that are thinking about or have played instruments and thought this is too hard, just realize it's baked in. That's the dip. You have to get through it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Good night.
Try the veal.
Try the veal. I'll be here all 4 days, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome. Oh, I wanted to ask you. So, when did you live in Nashville?
Oh my gosh, probably. Let me think. 2000. Might have been 2000 or 2002. I don't remember. It was just
asking,
kind of.
I'm a huge Jack White fan, and I know he has Third Man Records in Nashville, and you can go in and record yourself on vinyl and a booth and stuff like that. So I wanted to ask if you had the opportunity to.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool, to be able to, I know there's places where you can, record yourself on a CD, and get it right then and there. Well, this one does vinyl, a vinyl record for you. That's wild.
Do you know what he charges?
Oh, I forgot. I'm going to look it up right now, because this is my show and I can do what I want. Okay. The recording booth is closed. But,
oh, no.
Well, because of COVID.
Gotcha.
But, tours are $20 a person. Oh, here we go. How much does it cost to record a song? Oh, $20.
No.
Yeah. First come, first serve. You have 2.5 minutes, and they can provide an acoustic guitar, or you can bring your own instruments.
Awesome.
So there's a thing that says, are there any restrictions on what I can do in the booth? And it says, we've had marriage proposals, one-act plays, last will and testaments, Willie Nelson, jokes, and everything else in between in the booth. That's wild. That's so
No
cool.
doubt.
All right. Sorry. We'll get back to you.
Sorry, Jack White.
Yeah. Sorry, Jack White.
Thanks for listening to the Raffa Music Show here on Studio Blue Radio. Up next, we have the composition Shining Star by piano player Dominika Dornkova, and this is from her debut album, Forever in My Heart. Enjoy. Recording is now in progress.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to part 2. Part 3 at this point. So, tell us about your services that you offer on your website.
Okay. All right. I forget. No.
You know what? No, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not going to make you do that. Listen, he has an awesome website. It's kevinneidig.com. And he has multiple services that he offers, and they're awesome. And just go check them out. kevinneidig.com. I'll link it.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
Yeah. Check out Riff Monkey. Check out lessons. Check out music.
Instrumental monthly.
Instrumental monthly. Yes. The subscription service. You will like it. You will love it. And then you will wonder how you lived this long without it.
Exactly. And listeners, if you're wondering why we are acting this way about his subscription services, it's because I just interviewed him for 20 minutes about this stuff and didn't press record. And I'm not making him say all that again. So it's my fault. I will link everything. Don't you worry. And we talked about your album, Writing with Fire.
Yep. Yeah,